In this world of darkness populated by untold horrors, four idiots, united by fate and held together through disliking one another slightly less than everyone else they meet, might just save us all. Largely by accident. Welcome to This Bloody Mess, the increasingly poor decisions of four vampires. In the last episode.
Uncle, I'm always afraid when you're standing next to me. It's not necessarily a special occasion. I just feel like something bad's gonna happen tonight.
Boy, you sound worried about this, and I gotta tell you. I guess I don't gotta tell you, you know already, I always thought of you as my own.
I need to do good, but I promise I'll be safe. I won't let anyone get the best of me, as you always say. I run back to my car as quickly as possible.
And now the story continues. You get to your car, you take the 2 hours to drive back. You get a couple more texts from Caroline. It's up to you whether or not you answer them or not.
But I'm a really terrible driver, so like sometimes I do stops or people honk at me.
Yeah, well, it's like a drive from the desert, so you see like maybe 2 cars on the way back.
Okay. I almost hit some lizards.
Like uncle, like nephew.
Okay, so what's going on? I'm sorry. Oh.
You're driving back. A couple texts coming from Caroline. It's up to you whether you answer them or not.
Okay, I just ignore them, and then I until I'm really close to the hotel, and I park at the hotel, and then I check my text messages.
All right. Over the last 20 or 30 minutes, you've been getting updates from her, starting with about half an hour ago where she tells you he's in the hotel. She gives you a couple updates on what appears to be a dinner situation with him and a couple other high rollers. All it seems to amount to is that he's going to be there for another hour and a half or so from the time you get there.
Okay. I just check myself in the mirror, the rear mirror. Wow, rear view mirror, really quick to just make sure that my dress suit looks real nice, and I slick my hair back, but it doesn't really work. So I just have a single cowlick coming out on my bangs, but I can't get it to work. So I lick my hand, and it still doesn't work. And I look generally okay except for the cowlick, but I get out of the car. And I shuffle to the hotel, and I shine my phone, my reservation to the guy who's inside greeting people.
The guy just says, that's a text. Do you have a name that I can look for? You look up the list.
Okay, yeah, my name is Fredrick von Stein, and I puff out my chest.
Ah, yes. Yes, you appear to be on the list.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Care Bear. And I walk in, and I look around.
All right, you find yourself in a sort of a lounge area. You see a couple people just sort of hanging around. A lot of people are alone, just sort of hanging out in the lounge area. You've got a couple groups of people. You've got young people just sort of hanging around with each other, having fun. And then in the very back, through a closed door with window panes on the door, you can see a large group of older men. And at the head, you see a man that you've recognized as James Fenimore from pictures Carrie Cooper sent you.
Okay. I take a few deep breaths to stop the hyperventilation. I look around to see if I blend in. Okay.
Some of these people make you look a little like a used car salesman.
I feel like a used car salesman. But I know I got important stuff to show, so I take out my phone and I close everything else but the app, and I click on new game, and I clear my throat, and I walk up to James Fenimore and his posse, and I sort of coyly...
Do you just walk straight through the door?
Oh, I'm not in.
They're in a sort of a back room type meeting.
Oh, no, I kind of linger around. I step through the room until I linger around to the back door. sort of like hesitate there, looking for a good moment to step in.
No one seems to notice you doing that.
I like clear my throat and wait.
You see
Does anyone notice that?
people in the room or out of the room?
In the room.
Not really, but as
I start to cough.
as you're just sort of hanging out there, one of the other gentlemen, tall with sort of a really distinct widow's peak and a big hawk-like nose, steps out. Sort of as he's passing, he gives you a really like dour look, like what are you doing here? And then he just like heads towards the nearest bathroom.
Like steps out of the room.
Yeah.
I like cough and it like gets louder and more constant until I'm like almost doubled over and I like sidestep my way into the room like while coughing until the point where like I'm clearing my throat and I'm like excuse me and I like look at Fenimore and I'm like, oh, you're James Fenimore.
Everyone is staring at you.
That's fine.
He looks up at you and he says, are you out of the 1967 Moscato? Because that's what I sent you out for.
Actually, sir, my name is Fredrick von Stein, and I have something amazing to show you. I have special permission from... It doesn't matter. I have special permission to be here, and I came here just to show you this amazing new thing that I have invented. Look at my phone. This is a new vampire game. Please pay attention.
He holds up a hand to silence you.
I am silenced. Yes, sir?
He looks around at the assembled other men, and at this point you realize there's a couple people that you recognize, not from personal interactions, but you notice a mayor, a couple of senators. These are very important people you just barged in on. He turns to one of his bodyguards, and you hear him say, "Get them out." And they reach for you, and he holds up his hand again, and he's like, "No, get them out." And
I like gasp and like sort of sidestep and like then nod.
They begin ushering the other people out of the room. A couple of them seem to object, but when he gives them a stare, they just are cowed.
I like cough, like impressed but like really intimidated.
He reaches out and, as if he's expecting no resistance at all, he just takes your phone.
Doesn't resist, just sort of lets it go. Sir, this is my new phone app. It's called Vamp Blood, and it just you play as a vampire, and as you collect people, you gain blood. People are going to put so many small transactions on this that it'll be such a huge deal. I'm looking for someone to fund its wide distribution. Vampires are the new rage for all the teenagers and stuff, so...
He hands it back to you. He says, "It's an amusement, to be sure."
Yes,
Sit.
sir. I sit next to him, not opposite, but like next to him where I was standing. Sort of make
Well,
the
he's
chair.
sort of gesturing towards a specific chair near you. Do you choose
Oh,
that chair?
okay, yeah. I sit at that chair and sort of turn it to him. I like turn the chair near him and it sort of like grates on the floor a little bit.
He looks unperturbed.
Okay.
He takes a bottle out from under the table and pours into the glass next to you until it's full to the brim. He just gestures again and says, "Please drink."
I gaze at it and I don't like drinking at all, but I raise it up and take a stiff sip of it.
Let me see. I would like you to make a... He's doing this deliberately to give you a little bit of a test, so I'd like you to roll dexterity.
Or rather, I don't drink anything that's not moonshine to get myself wasted.
Well, what he's doing
Drinking is a punishment.
He's given you a glass that is, as I said, full to the brim, and he's going to test, like, your ability to actually sip from it without spilling. So I'd like you to roll 2 dice for your dexterity. Etiquette. So 3 dice total. Difficulty 6.
Okay. Do I roll them one at a time, or?
It's your choice. Just see which ones come up with 6 or higher.
Both are 6, and one's a 3?
You know what? This is like better not done on the carpet.
What is this, a 7?
That's a 7.
Okay.
But you also got a 1, which gives me an opportunity to talk about botches.
Okay.
1s are called botches, and every one you get cancels a success.
Oh.
Now, I'm tweaking the rules a little bit here by saying that if you get more botches than successes, things go really horrible, as opposed to a regular failure.
Okay.
Now, normally you have to get no successes and a 1 for it to be really horrible. So, also, I'm going to say that since you rolled successfully twice before we found a flat surface, you're fine.
Okay. That makes me relieved.
Yeah. You are able to, you do that sort of maneuver where you, like, tilt your lip over the glass and suck out the first, like, inch or so of fluid before you sip.
Oh, good. I'm suave.
Then you set it down and...
I do it with that same flouncy movement with, like, my hand going out and, like...
he looks at you a little strangely. You see him just take out a little notebook and he writes something in it. If you wanted to roll perception and alertness, you might be able to tell what he's writing.
Okay.
Which is 1 die.
Okay.
And you have 2 dice for alertness, so it is still 3. Okay.
8, 1, and 3.
So
So I can't tell because I got a failure and a success, right?
Yeah.
And then this.
3 is just a failure. So you're absorbed in your pride at sipping this one.
I really am. I'm really proud.
Whatever he's writing is lost on you.
Okay. Well, can I perceive what expression he's making?
Sure. That would be perception and empathy, which is 2 dice.
Okay.
You got 2 successes. And a cat.
Slowly pads it closer.
Cat just reaches out, tips it over to a 1. No, you get 2 successes, enabling you to feel that he is oddly impressed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like thinking to myself, like, that was a weird thing to be impressed by. It must be that he's impressed by my phone app. He sees me just as cool and aloof as my phone app.
He asks you, so, what led you to develop this?
I am an entrepreneur, sir. I like things that are popular and that make me money. This is guaranteed to do both. I'm sure you are the same. Regardless, I like glance to him and he doesn't make an expression, so I'm like, regardless, I am a fan of vampires because...
You like vampires?
Well, I like the vampire lore and the popularity that have been going on of recent. I think it's perfect time to go on a financial expedition with the current popularity in media.
So you brought this to me. Why would I not simply create my own version, is the question.
Because, sir, there are more features that I have not shown you. Because I have coded this game myself, and I know how it works and the ins and outs of this game. Why would you get another person to try and make another game when I have the original one that's sure to be better?
He opens his notebook and writes something else down.
Can I perceive?
Yep. 3 dice.
3 dice. 6, 2, and 5.
You got 1 success.
Nice.
You see, first of all, you're able to piece out what he wrote before, which is resourceful.
Ah.
He's actually written your name down at the top.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So you see he's written down resourceful. Below that, you see he's now writing knows what to hold back.
Aha! I feel proud on the inside. Should I roll to like stop myself grinning, or is that just like a?
Yeah, that one's up to you.
All right, no. I smirk a little bit, but I hide it.
And you see that just under that, he's written down technologically capable.
I stop myself from nodding.
He snaps the notebook shut and tucks it into his pocket. And at this point, I'd like you to roll stamina, difficulty 6.
2 successes.
All right. Something just made you feel like a little woozy. You think it might be the wine, but you're able to keep it together enough to keep yourself looking professional.
I straighten my ties and my lapel in an effort to keep cool.
He leans back and he says, well, you've done me proud in the elevator pitch. I suppose the question now is...
My heart thumps.
Why bring this to me specifically? I am, of course, notoriously hard to work with. I belong to a very exclusive crowd. In fact, the how is just as concerning as the why. How did you know I would be here at all?
Okay, can I have 2 checks, like one for what I know about this guy and like one for like how I know Carolyn, like for what I know about Carolyn Cooper's contexts?
Sure. You got an intelligence roll with, you don't have business. So it's going to be, I'll give you intelligence and investigation and you can add your contacts. So it's 7 dice.
7?
Yeah. You didn't think it was all going to be 3s and 4s, did you?
Yes. 7. I can't even hold this many.
All right.
So 2 failures. What's a 0?
It's a 10.
Oh, okay. So 2 successes. So those cancel each other out, right?
Yeah, and you've got a 9 there as well.
So
let me see. You've got problem solver as your specialization in intelligence. You got a success. So what kind of information are you looking to glean?
Again, like, who are the contacts of Caroline? Like, what does she do that, like, gets her contacts? And, like, and what do I know about James Fenimore?
Okay, which one are you trying to do with this role?
James Fenimore.
Okay. He's a pretty shadowy figure. He's pretty reclusive. Most of his dealings are done in-house, like people he knows and trusts already. He's been known to take people like you under his wing and give them the money that needs to make their startup, but that's just sort of, A, it's very rare. I think the last time he did it was 20 years ago. And B, when he does that, they sort of become the insiders, which is actually part of the reason that you're interested in this.
Why? Because I'd become an insider?
Yeah, you're looking to be... You had one of those childhoods where everyone pushed you to succeed a lot, and now, like, it's a very Dan Harmon, daddy approve of me type of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to be part of his, like, weird champagne room inner circle.
Okay. And what about Caroline Cooper? Should I roll for that? 7?
1 less, because you're looking at her contacts. She is your contact. So you added your contacts to the last one, but what you know about her is less reliant on her. I mean, she's also your friend. You don't really need to roll about that.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, like, I want to know what she told me.
Oh.
Basically.
Well, that is what she told you. Like, a lot of what just I told you is what she told you. But what are you rolling about her? Because you probably don't need to.
Yeah, I want to know what she does.
She is in sort of a middle management position in like a very white-collar company. And as a result, she's someone who in the business world talks to a lot of other people in the business world. She's not powerful in any sense, but she knows, like as a result of all of her connections, she knows what's going on in different companies at different times.
Okay.
And she's a childhood friend of yours, so she's willing to share the knowledge with you. Okay.
So, you want to know how I know that I'm here, and you also want to know why I asked you. Well, sir, the first part of that is my secret. The second part of that is because I like what you have. I like what you do. I like how you go about your business. I like that you surround yourself by a group of friends. I like that you have that. I wish to become something like what you are, sir.
Do you?
Yes. And
He locks eyes with you. Do you really?
should I show you the app again? I hold up my phone.
He reaches out a hand and lowers the phone for you, locking eyes with you the whole time.
I get really intimidated, but
You can see something shining in his eyes. He says, I think you should sleep. And you feel yourself growing drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
You actually fall unconscious just in front of him.
Okay. But as I'm sinking, I'm like, you can control the blood.
As you're losing consciousness, you see him drawing closer to you, and he starts to open his mouth. And you think it's weird.
I do think it's weird.
You find yourself regaining consciousness in a darkened room. You can see there are windows, there's a trickle of moonlight coming through. You see that there are two other figures in the room besides you.
Oh.
You can see the face of James Fenimore, illuminated by a cigarette in the background against a couch. You also see a young woman is closer to you upon your awakening. And you can hear her say, I think he's waking up, sir.
I clear my throat and sort of touch my head. What
Feel
happened?
horrible.
Oh.
You've got dry mouth. You feel like your stomach's twisted up in a knot from hunger. You feel like you had 3 jugs of your uncle's weird ass hillbilly moonshine shit. And then slept for 16 hours and you're waking up just as the hangover peaks.
I try to sit up, but immediately regret my decision and double over again.
Yeah.
Sort of dry cough.
The young woman just sort of backs off very suddenly as you lurch forward.
Can I go to a hospital?
You hear laughter from nearby.
There's nothing funny about this.
You see James Fenimore stamps out his cigarette in a nearby ashtray, and he says, I'm afraid no hospitals are going to be able to help you now.
Oh, shit. Are you with the mafia?
I grow tired of this, Tasha, explain.
Tasha? Tasha, please explain, and also, where's my phone? If you're not gonna call 911, I'll do it. Oh, talking sucks.
I'm afraid Master Fenimore still has your phone. He finds your app quite addictive.
Damn, it is though.
My name's Tasha.
Well, aren't you just the bucket of sunshine?
Yes, I am Mr. Fenimore's secretary. He told me that it is my job.
I grip her lapels as she's right there, and I look in her face, and I'm like, hospital.
Roll self-control for me.
Okay.
All right. You do that. You grab her, and you part her blouse, and you get a real eyeful of just her neck.
Oh shit! There's something. I let go and sort of sit. My ass hits the floor.
Yeah, you're able to rein it in, but for some reason you really want to bite her in the neck.
I think I'm delirious from my sickness, guys. I sort of want to kill you, Tasha. Could you please call an ambulance?
She backs up several steps.
I sort of slump on the floor. I give up.
As she backs up several steps, you see someone else behind her. One of the 2 bodyguards that you saw with Mr. Fenimore at his dinner.
Okay.
There were 2 at the dinner. They ushered out everyone who wasn't you, despite them being much more important than you.
Uh-huh.
It seems like his job right now is to keep her from fleeing the room. She says, that's frankly horrifying.
Yeah.
Mr. Fenimore has told me that it is my job to instruct you in your new way of life.
Way of life.
She sort of takes a moment to regain her composure, adjusts her, like, disheveled blouse from you.
I, like, vaguely roll on the floor back and forth.
The other bodyguard comes over and, like, lifts you up onto your feet. You're not entirely happy about that, but you're able to maintain your balance.
Carry me bridal style, Edgar. I need to be held in my moment of need.
My name is Herman.
Who the fuck are you?
He just walks away.
Now I'm standing and everything's awful.
And you hear Tasha say, "Sir, I'm really not sure I understand what my purpose here is. You've given me notes, but they make no sense." And Mr. Fenimore just says, "Your purpose will become plain and soon enough." He sort of puts an arm around you, Fenimore does, and he says, "The life that you've just been thrust into is a difficult one. I'm sure you're not going to understand a lot of what's going to happen in the next few minutes, few hours, few days. But right now, you probably feel like you've been down 10 miles of bad road chained to the back bumper of a truck.
I'm really thirsty.
What you need is to eat Tasha."
That's the urge I'm resisting, Fenimore, sir.
He looks you in the eyes, and you hear his voice comes out full of thunder, and he just says, "Stop." And you feel like the will in his voice just strips away all of your self-control and desire to resist, like taking a bite out of Tasha.
I'm sorry. That just made me happy. It's my kink. Excuse me. I just need to put my head down for a second.
Losing total control, you charge forward and just seize Tasha by the head with one hand and the shoulder by the other, and you just right in there. And you can feel fangs push their way out of your upper gums and pierce her neck.
Should I roll?
And you should roll for self-control again, because he told you to stop resisting, but he did not tell you to kill her.
Okay, that's fair.
So you're trying now to pull back after you've gotten enough to not feel like you want to murder people, but before you actually murder people.
Okay.
You got a 9.
Yay!
So after taking about 3, maybe 4 points of blood, when you pull back,
Yeah.
almost instinctively you lick at the wounds on her neck, and when you pull back, you see that they're gone.
Oh.
Most of the blood just went straight down your mouth. It's like a very euphoric feeling. You
clean
love
thing.
that.
Okay. Sorry, Tasha.
She just sort of sinks to her neck or her knees with a glazed over look in her eyes, what?
Looks the Fenimore. Actually, that was sort of awesome. Can we do that again? I'm a little drunk, I think you're imaginative. I don't think I'm here right now.
My boy, when you woke up this morning, you thought vampires were a thing of fantasy and fiction and fodder for your little game, which is positively fascinating, by the way.
Glad you like it. That was 12 months of work, sir.
Well, we'll certainly get funds to keep developing this.
Yay.
I caught a bludula. I don't know what that is, but it sounds charming.
Yeah, there's these the little creatures that follow you and drink your blood, and it's happy.
He laughs. He passes you back your phone.
I laugh too, like nothing's wrong, because at this point I feel like I'm crazy.
He asks you, "Tell me, how much of what I've just told you do you actually believe?"
I'd say a good 5% of it, sir. I mean, it doesn't really feel like a dream. I feel great, actually. I feel like I could lift a car. But, no, I'm pretty sure I'm still dreaming.
Allow me to provide a demonstration that you'll believe most convincingly. And he pulls out a gun.
Hey, I got one of those. Also pulls out my gun.
You reach for yours, but then you realize he's holding it.
Oh, that's mine.
Shoot me.
What?
Shoot me.
I take the gun, and I look at it, and I, like, look at Tasha sort of dazed on the floor, and I, like, look back at him, and I, like, sort of shrug, and I, like, shoot him in the foot.
He doesn't flinch.
Oh. I, like, stare at him for a moment, and then I, like, slowly get a little closer, and, like, look at the wound.
You can see that it went right through his shoe, and that the bullet has just sort of gone through his foot to the floor.
May I, sir? And I ask him if I could, like, lift his foot up a little bit to see through.
Sure. You can see that there's no bullet wound on his foot.
But the actual shoe is, like, completely damaged.
There's a hole in the shoe.
And the floor.
It looks like the bullet wound just sort of closed itself.
I, like, look at the gun in, like, dazed amazement, and, like, look at my foot and shoot my own foot.
Roll stamina plus fortitude.
Okay with that.
We'll just give it a flat number now, because I don't want you to have to roll for shooting yourself in the foot.
Thanks. Good dice.
So, you look down in amazement as you just have this bullet lying on top of your foot. It's like flattened out, like it just pancaked against your foot. And he just looks at you and he says, I dare say you're getting the hang of this. He just walks up before you can do anything else and snatches the gun out and says, I'm just going to take this before you try that again.
Sort of coughs and sort of feels like I'm gonna throw up. But when, like, it throws up and, like, to my mouth, it tastes like blood. And I, like, suck it back down again because it's, like, tasty.
He puts an arm around you. He walks you past Tasha. And you hear him say in, like, a hushed voice to one of the bodyguards, he's just like, pick that up. And they rush to, like, take Tasha out of the room.
Thanks for tuning in to This Bloody Mess, the increasingly poor decisions of 4 vampires by Painted Still. If you like this video, give it a like, consider subscribing to our channel. If you want to support our content, we have a Patreon, link is in the description.